to our little coffee talk. And just trying to get myself organized. Sorry we got started late. Paul and I were chatting and time got away from us, but there's Paul.
Hey, everyone.
And boy, nothing better for you folks to do on a Thursday night at 7:30, right? We got almost 500 people watching us right now. But I'm very glad you're here. And I know you're all very excited because I know what you're expecting. You're expecting a bit of a rant. And you're going to get one. I just don't think it's the rant you think you're going to get. So okay. So today, DVC celebrated their 30th anniversary with a video that the vast majority of DVC members, or at least the ones on our group, let's just say they were not amused. I watched it. I read the comments on the group, and then I went back and watched it again. And I'm going to tell you what. I thought it was charming. I really did. I thought it was charming. I thought they were trying to do something to celebrate and mark the 30th anniversary, but they couldn't do what they would have, I'm sure what they would have liked to do as a result of COVID. And I got to be honest. When Keala Settle started singing It's a Small World as a ballad, the way the Sherman Brothers intended it to be, or had originally written it, and then when she did We Go On from Illuminations with the Voices of Liberty behind her, I was on the verge of an ugly Oprah cry. So I'm reading the comments, and there's a couple things I wanna say. And you know I love you guys, right? I do. I love you guys. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not one to give DVC. I'm not an apologist for DVC by any means. Oh no, Cicely Tyson died. Oh, sorry. God. Cloris Leachman and Cicely Tyson in 1 week. Sorry, that just came across my little feed here. I'm turning into Teresa. I'm easily distracted. But I'm not one to apologize for DVC, and I've certainly been critical of a number of things, and we're going to talk about that. But I am a content creator on the internet. I have been a content creator on the internet for a long time. I've lost count of how long it's been. 23 years. And I know what goes into that. And some of the comments that I was reading I thought were unfair. I think they put a lot of effort into this. I thought the production value of it was excellent. I thought Dottie, who was the VP of sales, is clearly a classically trained concert pianist. Thought she did a beautiful job with that. I thought Ryan, who's the editor of the Disney Files magazine, did a great job as a host. Keala Settle was phenomenal, very authentic. I had no idea she was such a huge Disney fan. But I'm reading the comments and I'm asking myself, what exactly were we expecting? Because looking at some of the comments, forgive me for being crude, I said to myself, did these people think they were going to reach out through the screen and like pleasure you during this video? I mean, I thought it was charming. Now, that being said, I'm looking at some of the reactions and some of the emotions coming out, and I'm asking myself why. Because it definitely, to me, seemed like there was a disconnect between what was actually presented and the kind of response it was getting. And so I think I want to have a discussion tonight about us as a group and our expectations. Our expectations of DVC in particular. And look, like I said, one of the things I realized, I thought to myself tonight as I thought about this, DVC is great at paying lip service to we care about the members. But you know what? I don't think an awful lot of us feel the love. They're terrible. They're good at saying it, but they're not very good at transmitting it. And so, and especially this last year, I mean, I've made more than a few comments on the show about the terrible job that they did communicating with the membership about what was going on. And I understand we were all blindsided. All of us, everyone, was blindsided by what's happened. But you know, even a simple communication, we know you want answers. We're trying to figure them out. Would have been fine. Would have been something. And again, I think personally, this is how I feel. I don't know how you guys feel. We're going to find out because I'm not even looking at the comments right now. I'm not even looking at them. I hear them coming in because I hear the little blip every time a comment is made. But I'm not looking at them. And we have 750 plus DVC members. And I'm sure this is going to be an interesting conversation. But Paul, I'm going to let you talk. What were your impression of, I think you and I have a different view of this. So I'm going to let you talk a little bit about it.
First, it's not that I have a different view of the actual presentation or the actual show that was put out there today. I thought the entire thing was wonderful. The music was amazing. Anytime I can hear Voices of Liberty, I mean, I'm happy. I'm a happy guy in the middle of my workday watching that. It was good. The problem I get is the mixed messaging. And it's what, Pete, you and I have talked about a lot, and it's what we've talked about a lot in this group in the past few months, is that our expectations got raised. Now maybe they got blown out of proportion. Maybe they got raised too much. But when you look at how this event was launched, it was a nightmare. So if we back up 2 nights ago, it was posted over in DVC Fan. I think it was Brian Rogers posted a post about seeing a sponsored ad on Facebook that was mentioning some sort of 30th anniversary musical celebration happening in 2 nights. And of course, that was news to all of us. None of us had heard anything about that. Digging into that, we find out that was only a sponsored post. So unless you really know how to go to a business's website or Facebook page, and down at the bottom, there's like a transparency section, you can actually see what sort of ads they're running currently as a business. That is the only place you found any reference to this event happening. Now, on that post, it said, join us for a night of virtual celebration, special guests, membership updates, and more in honor of our 30th anniversary. Okay, cool. You've piqued my interest. That sounds exciting. Very odd that you've posted this nowhere else. The next day, so that would have been yesterday, Wednesday, we see, and again, the most obscure place of all. You had to go to the Disney Vacation Club website. You had to go to your membership dashboard and log into your account, then find your way back to the homepage. And only at that time were you served a picture that basically said, in 2 days, join us for this musical spectacular event.
Yeah, because I had absolutely. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
There we go. I had absolutely no idea this was going on. Right. I heard rumblings today about the video, and so I had no idea this was happening. And I know I should have read my own website, but I've been just crazy busy the last couple days, and so I went in and watched it without any of those expectations. And I think you're right, and I think we'll come back to that. But yeah.
So all of that's occurred. We're leading up to this event. We finally find some sort of reference to the website. So once we found that sponsored ad, we actually found the page on which the video was going to be displayed. Nothing really exciting there until today's launch. So I think where a lot of people got hyped up was the thought that there was going to be more member benefits. There were going to be more expectations or more things announced in this entire musical event. And it wasn't just going to be what we got, which was a very nice musical celebration talking about the 30th anniversary and talking about the last 30 years of Disney Vacation Club, which was perfectly appropriate. So in my eyes, they missed the mark on how they presented this. It should have been all or nothing. They should have been pushing this, promoting it for the past month, talking it up, talking about how it was going to be a musical celebration of Disney Vacation Club. Take out the section about member benefits, because we'll get there a little bit later. And I mean, not a whole lot to talk about there. But, or nothing. Or be absolutely silent. Don't put those two random nuggets out there that half the people, 99% of Disney Vacation Club members, couldn't find. So that's my struggle. And it's just very odd in how that all transpired. And we know that they plan to launch it today. They launched it. They launched a article over on Disney Parks blog all about the 30th anniversary. We've seen all kinds of merch come out this past week. So this was planned to a degree. But the release is where they botched it. And I think at this point, we just have a lot of members out there that are expecting some sort of something.
Right. And let's divide this, though, into two very distinct issues. A lack of communication during a very uncertain time, and this video. I think it's really important. I need to say this. I think we need to kind of ground ourselves a little bit about what we're actually owed as DVC members. When we sign a contract for our DVC membership, we're told what that entails, and that is a certain number of points for a certain number of years, and the ability to use them in certain ways. And the price for that is this. And that is all we are owed. We are not owed perks. We are not owed membership extras. We are not owed videos with Keila Settle. We're not owed any of that. We're not owed any of that. We are owed, if you're going to put those things out there and promise them, then we are owed communication. And if you're going to say you care about the membership, then those words have to be followed up with meaning. Now, I remember saying that the first time I attended a Moonlight Magic event, that I really felt like DVC cared about the membership. That those events went a long way. And we can get into the blue card versus white card discussion some other time. I mean, there's a whole thing there. I think they were incredibly stupid, creating a class system. But we don't have Moonlight Magic events right now because of COVID. And I know some people were saying, I don't think my dues should have gone for this video. Your dues didn't go for this video. By law, they can't use your dues for this video. Dues have to be used for the maintenance of the property you own. Whether that's rehabbing a room, fixing a roof, paying staff, maintaining the Skyliner. That's what dues are used for. Dues are not used for marketing. Direct purchases, the money they collect on direct sales, is what is used for that. That's what pays for Moonlight Magic, not our dues. That's what paid for this video today, not our dues. So I just wanted to make sure I got that out there because I saw a lot of that being said. This is a waste of my dues. No, it's not. It had nothing to do with your dues. Your dues were not involved in the production of that video. So I just want to keep this focused on fair criticism. Fair criticism. I've always tried to do that. I don't always succeed. Sometimes I let my emotions get the better of me and I get on camera and I say things that are unfair. And I try and catch myself. And I try and pull those things back. But I always try and be fair. I really do. I try and be fair and look at both sides. And, you know, that's 20, how many years is it? When did I start this? 97? So 24 years. Going up on 24 years, June 1st. That is 24 years of doing this and growing up a little bit sometimes. That brought me there. And I'm trying to do that with this. Look, right now I'm disappointed in DVC. But I'm disappointed in their communication. Where this was tone deaf today was in the fact that they didn't take this opportunity to communicate on the issues or on any issues that members are concerned about. I see people in the chat room saying, it would have been nice if Terry Schultz had stopped in and said hello. Yeah, it would have been. I agree. It'd be nice if Terry Schultz popped in and said anything. This is where the problem is. This is a very expensive membership. Now, people compare it to other timeshares and how other timeshares aren't this and they aren't that. Well, other timeshares don't cost $10 million either. So when we're, so on those issues, I think we're absolutely right to point them out. And this is where I got to walk a line. We wonder why we don't feel loved. And then they release a video like this that I'm telling you, they put a lot of work into this. They put a lot of work into that video. And then I'm just afraid there are kids watching. I can't use the expression I use with you in text, Paul. We react the way we react and then wonder. I wouldn't like us either if I was on the receiving end of that. If I put all this work into something, believe me, I've been there, where I put a lot of work into something and I put it out and it gets criticized. And that hurts. That hurts. Every one of these people is human. Every single one is human. And I think that, I just got the feeling like Dottie, when she came out to play that piano, I got to imagine she was really nervous. I mean, that takes some stones. to get out there and play that piano that way. That takes some real guts. And I think she deserves a lot of praise for it. I think she did an absolutely beautiful job. And then you're going to accompany Kiala Settle and the Voices of Liberty on a piece of music that is not exactly commonly played. And you're going to do it that beautifully. And I thought she did an incredible job. Yet, here we are, just complaining that it wasn't this or it wasn't that and it wasn't enough and blah, blah, blah. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's, and yes, I guess to some degree, the content guy in me is feeling protective because I've been there. But I don't know. I think it's time that we as a community start having a discussion about what we're actually owed and what's fair and hold them accountable to that. There's a lot of complaints out there, totally legitimate. But I'm going to tell you, go through your contract. There's nothing in there saying they have to do events at theme parks or musical videos with Kiala Settle and the Voices of Liberty. Nothing in there in that contract. And in real estate especially, you learn very quickly, if it's not in the contract, it's not going to happen. Okay? It's not going to happen. And so I think as I thought about this today, I mean, everybody was like, private messaging and text messaging and on the group, oh, Pete's got to say something about this video. I'm like, okay, you want me to say something about the video? I will. I don't think you're going to like it. But I have to be honest. About it. I think that I've heard people say that DVC members are this like over-entitled group. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I think right now, on January 28th, 2021, we are a group of people, like everybody else in the country, that's been dealing with some stuff. And there's a lot of frustration. And we have been disconnected from something we love. And we've been disconnected from multiple things we love, people we love, places we love, experiences we love. And that frustration builds up. And part of that frustration is this significant financial investment that we've made in Disney Vacation Club. And there have been a lot of question marks around what's going on. And then they do something like today, and it becomes this, I think, like an outlet for COVID and for, banking and borrowing points and for what's going to happen with the member lounges. And it just becomes like this emotional geyser, right? This emotional touch point, flashpoint. And I think, because I watched the video, I'm like, okay, if Ryan had gotten up and like slapped Kiala Settle, then I'm like, okay, no, that we should be upset about. But you know what I'm saying? But I was confused by the response. And I honestly, I don't know what they could have done. Now, to everyone's point though, I think Terry Schultz needs to get some of those production people and turn those cameras on and sit down and have a conversation with the membership We hear you. We hear your concerns. We hear your questions. And here are the best answers I have right now. Now, I realize you can't have that discussion without 15 lawyers standing off camera with guns. But, right? I mean, she can't.
Yeah.
But we're coming up on a year now. And there are still a lot of questions, and that's just unacceptable. So I don't think the frustration is unfair. I think it's being directed at this, and it shouldn't be. And I think that falls on Terry Schultz. Because just the fact that people are mentioning right now in the chat room, yeah, it would have been nice if Terry had said something. That tells you a lot. So,
yeah, I think I think each of us sort of have our own aspect of the past year that has negatively affected our membership as DVC members. And for each of us, it's different. We hear those stories every day over in the DVC fan Facebook group. You've got international owners that still can't use their points, don't know when they can use their points. What are they supposed to do? Now, granted, yes, contractually, it is what it is, but acknowledge that you hear those voices. Acknowledge that you hear the voices of the people that are frustrated about annual passes. Granted, Disney Vacation Club has no say whatsoever on annual passes. That's a ticketing issue. That's a Walt Disney World issue. But there's a lot of people that's an aspect of why they decided to become Disney Vacation Club members. Maybe not necessarily the promise of a discounted annual pass, but the promise of an annual pass that made it more affordable for their family to come. We could go on and on about other benefits in that manner, but I think each of us has our own little thing that has affected us in this past year, and we just want to be heard.
You know, one of the things, I don't want to give many ideas, but one of the things I've heard so much over this last year in particular is how much, not just with the Diz, with all the Disney content creators out there, how much people have appreciated the additional content we're creating to allow people to connect to Disney somehow. And I think it is a massive mistake that DVC hasn't tried to do the same thing. Something exclusively for members that allows people. It's not like they don't have the staff. It's not like they don't have the production knowledge or equipment. But they don't do that. Now, I realize that's got to come out of a marketing budget. And if they're making Riviera Lego sets, I'm guessing sales aren't quite what they were hoping for. That was the other thing, too. You know, people complaining about the minor plug for Riviera. Yeah, you know what? We got to sell stuff. We all do. All right? That's how we pay for this. This is not done by magic. Okay? Trust me, especially Craig Williams does not work for magic. We all have to sell stuff. We all have to. I hate it. I wish I didn't. Trust me. Believe me. Honest to God. If I hit the Powerball tomorrow and I had like $100 million in the bank, every ad on every website, everything would be gone. I hate it. It's just a reality. You know, Daddy's not a cheap date. And I don't think there's a lot of cheap dates over at DVC either. So I'm not gonna give them crap about throwing something in for Riviera. A Lego set. That I was just kind of scratching my head, but okay, all right. That's God bless. So I don't know. I just think that we can't be distracted by something like that video. accept it and take it for what it is and enjoy it for what it is. Because I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was well produced. And yes, okay, I particularly love Keala Settle. I do love her. I have her album. I watched The Greatest Showman about 800 times, mainly because she was in it. I thought that story she told in this video about how she's afraid of her voice was really powerful and really brave for her to be so vulnerable in a situation like that. I was really impressed with that because it didn't seem like she was doing actress vulnerable. She was being vulnerable, and I appreciated that.
It was a very raw interview.
It really was, and that's why I'm like, wow, this is really good. It's like I've seen a bunch of interviews with her. I haven't seen one that good. And especially learning that she was a Disney fan. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, now I feel like I have this other connection with her. Which I think she's just an absolute amazing talent. An absolute amazing talent. And I thought she did beautifully today. I just thought it was nice. Did it rock my world? Am I going to go back and watch it 1,800 times? No. But they did a very nice job with it. And I think I think we're focusing on the wrong things. And maybe that's why things don't change. We have to demand more transparency. That we have a right to as members. When you're going to change how we can use our points, because that was in our contract. You need to change how we can use them. Well, now we need some transparency. Now, I've been hearing some people say, and I just saw it come up in the chat room, and Paul, I don't know if you can shed any light on this, that points at Grand Floridian, Bay Lake Tower, Poly, that they increased the amount of points without taking them away from somewhere else. I don't think that's possible because that would be against the law.
Yeah, it's not basically how the point systems work. There is an average percentage of an increase that they are allowed, but it's very minimal. But overall, the point charts have to balance across all spectrums. So they're going to move points from different room types, different room categories, view categories, all of that stuff. And they can move points within different seasonal categories. And that's the biggest thing that we've been seeing recently is that seasons, more popular travel seasons are now costing a lot more money to travel in. So those are some of the major adjustments that we've seen over the past 2 years. But that's been the past 2 years of point charts have really developed that plan. And we believe, or that based off of what they originally said, that this year was supposed to be the last adjustment, I think, related to that change.
I'm going to start taking some questions. So if you want to start, you may have been asking questions, but I'm doing something. But if you want to start putting some questions in there now, Paul and I can start.
One other thing I'll throw out there while we're waiting for some questions to come in. This same sort of tone that came as a response of today's video, we've seen over in the DVC fan Facebook group growing over the past month or so. It's been a growing sense of frustration. And, I'm just one person, but if I can ask anything of our entire community, because I do view us as a community, it's that we sort of take this moment to sort of let it all out, let all of those frustrations out, and start fresh with maybe a positive tone, because there's been a little bit, as Pete, you've said multiple times tonight, there's been a little bit too much of a negative connotation recently with Disney Vacation Club, and we need to sort of put ourselves in our place of what to expect and what can't we expect, because it's not just Disney Vacation Club. I mean, it's every aspect of our lives has shifted in this past year, and it's not all going to go back to normal right away. Right. It's not. It's going to go back to a new normal.
And again, I still haven't figured out the Facebook issue with this. I apologize, but somebody on Facebook said we need to separate frustration with DVC from broader Disney. DVC didn't take away annual passes or Magical Express or Extra Magic Hours. Absolutely 100% correct. neither Disney nor DVC created COVID. So, we not only do we have to separate out our frustrations with Disney versus DVC, we also have to separate out our frustrations with this current pandemic and Disney and DVC. Much harder to do. Much harder to do. We're all hopeful that this year we'll be able to get back to some kind of normal, whatever that looks like. Now that the vaccines are starting to get into people's arm, yay, Mom. God, I'm so relieved. I'm so relieved that I was able to get her first shot of the vaccine. I thought briefly about knocking her out of the way when they went to go put it in her arm and putting my arm in there, but I thought that wouldn't play well. I think we do need to separate out these frustrations. And I think when we focus our energy on something like this video, we're doing ourselves a disservice when we really need to figure out how to focus our energy and directly ask for what we want and what we expect from DVC as a unified voice. As a unified voice. That your lack of transparency is unacceptable. And we're going to hold you accountable for it. Now, how we hold them accountable for that, I don't know. But that's legitimate. That's totally legitimate. So somebody had suggested in the chat room that DVC should hold a town hall, a virtual town hall. Now, I agree, but I think I will grow wings and fly around Orlando before that ever happens. I don't think they can handle. I don't think. Oh my God! Could you imagine, Paul? What that would be like?
Well, first off, they'd have to run it by the attorneys, and they'd probably burst into laughter the moment the thought came out of their head that they wanted to maybe have this sort of town hall. But as you were talking a second ago, I sort of said to myself, they almost need like a DVC therapy hotline where someone from Disney Vacation Club, some sort of member, is just there on hold with you, and they're just like, I understand. Tell me more.
I don't know. I don't know what all
why
the
do you
comments
feel this way?
Yeah, really. No, I don't know what all the comments about soup are. I don't eat soup, so I don't have a favorite. Did they make any announcements today? Did I miss something?
Yeah, so we can go there. Nothing too exciting. There's one that you're gonna love, and I'll hit on it first, just because it's been a theme that we've talked about, and I think it. I don't remember if it was a show we already did or one that we have coming up, but they said as part of their announcement that they've now made it available to members that they can use up to 4 years of points to book a Adventures by Disney vacation.
Oh, they need it.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, if anyone's ever actually looked at the point charts for the ABD exchange program, there's no way you're going to do that with a single years of point or more. So where that came out of, I have no idea. But
I'll tell you exactly where it came out of. Keep in mind, Disney Vacation Club, Aulani, Adventures by Disney, and Disney Cruise Line are all under the same business unit. They all report to the same senior vice president. I forgot his name at Cruise Line. So that's what that is about. And Adventures by Disney is hurting. And I feel bad because it's it's a magnificent product. It really is. But obviously, no adventures are going off, right? Everything's been canceled. And where Cruise Line has, I think, probably can absorb it a little bit better, Adventures by Disney is kind of like that scrappy small business. And so they're trying to figure out how they can get as many people booking adventures and getting those on the books, so to speak, as they can. So that's where that makes sense. But for, you need 4 years. We'll let you use 4 years worth of points. That's
Don't do it.
almost
Rent your points.
exactly. Rent your points and book the Adventures by Disney with Dreams Unlimited Travel, because you're going to get this really awesome gift card back as a rebate. There's another thing I want to mention. Some people I'm watching in the comments are saying, they need to tell us when things are going to get back to normal. And I get this a lot too. When are things going to be back to normal? How the F should I know? But none of us know. If they had an answer to that, then they should be playing. They should be playing Powerball. If they can answer that, they can probably pick the numbers. But again, it's about checking our expectations. I know we all want to know, when are things going to be back to normal? We have to be okay with not knowing, because we're not going to. But I understand that frustration. All kidding aside, I absolutely understand that frustration. I have that frustration in particular with Disney Cruise Line. Because at least with DVC, we have access to resorts, right? We can use our points. We can, yes, there are things at Disney that's all changed and different because of the pandemic. I get it. But, Disney Cruise Line, you want to talk about no transparency? Nothing. We hear nothing. I mean, look, and they've been wonderful with travel agencies. I'm not saying they haven't been. They've been wonderful from the fan community side. From the, Disney Cruise Line enjoys a fan passion for their product that most cruise lines would kill for. And telling us something about what's going on with the ships. Like, you bring all the ships back into U.S. waters. What are you doing? What are you doing on the ships? Like, how are you getting these ships ready for relaunch? Just tell me that you're putting up like dividers in the Cove Cafe or something. It could be the stupidest thing. I don't care. I find myself every time a picture of a cruise picture comes up. Oh God, I was supposed to do a live stream last night with Andrew. Oh my God, for the anniversary of the dream. I completely forgot. Tuesday, we were supposed to do it. It's Thursday. I'm just remembering now. I don't know if he's watching, but if he is, I'm really sorry. It's just that kind of week. But, he had posted some pictures because he was on the opening crew for the Dream. And he had posted some like backstage pictures that he took while he was there. And I just find myself like wanting to soak up anything I can get my hands on. That's Disney Cruise Line. So at least with DVC, we have something, right? We can actually go and experience it. But Cruise Line, nothing. And everybody's saying, you got the ships there. Let's, make them a hotel. Make them a hotel. We don't care if it never leaves. We'll be fine. And I'm going to tell you something. I made that suggestion. And I think there's some like legality about what they can do and how they can operate, and it would be too difficult, but it's a good idea. Let's see. Okay, Peggy Waters said, "Let me borrow my damn points. 50% is total BS." Yeah.
I don't know if you if you had a chance to watch one of those Flashback Thursday videos that we put up last week that Doc had provided, but
I watched all of those. Yeah.
Yeah, back when Disney Vacation Club first opened, you were only allowed to borrow 50% of your points. So I don't want to say anything too crazy.
Yeah,
but
well, I know
it may be quite some time that we. Another thing we had come out today was the new scenic selfies experience that's going to happen in all four parks around Walt Disney World. So essentially, if you visit a specific Disney Vacation Club kiosk that's been designated for each park, you'll go there, you'll scan in with a QR code on your phone, and it takes you on an adventure throughout the park to, I believe it's like somewhere around 5 different locations. You'll learn different fun facts and stuff about the parks, trivia, history, that kind of thing. You take a selfie at these locations, you go back to the kiosk at the end, and you get a fun-filled button to commemorate the event.
All right. I was all in until the word button came up. Okay. Give me a damn pin. All right? Give me a pin. You can't even get that. I'm kidding. Yeah, button. I'm not doing all that for a button. For a pin, I will, but not for a button. Do you believe DVC members should have their own? This is from Kathy Carter. Do you believe DVC members should have their own entry area line into the park, same as AP holders? Yeah, I think that would be. I remember how I felt when I first saw that AP line. I'm like, that's a really cool perk. Now, especially a couple years ago, when the lines to get into the park could be absurd. That was really nice to have that AP line. And I think, yeah. What do you think, Paul?
I think it'd be fun. Yeah. I mean, Amy and I always, if we see the little sign out and the AP line's open, I mean, we beeline straight for it. Normally it's pretty quiet. I will say I've experienced times where they're not maybe monitoring it as much as they normally do. The only question I would have about this is, Disney Vacation Club is a huge aspect of Walt Disney World anymore. Like in terms of total number of rooms, I mean, it takes up a large percentage of that in terms of guests that are at Disney all the time. So it would definitely have to, I would almost wonder if it would be bigger than the single AP line or if they'd need more room than that. But it's those little small, like that can't really cost much. Like what? $1,000 to put up a couple signs here and there to say Disney Vacation Club member entrance or something like that. Small, easy perk makes us feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, and I'm way behind on the questions because I'm just seeing people saying "Yay, mom, getting the vaccine." I'm like, okay, well, let me skip down a little bit.
We did also learn today that go ahead.
No, go ahead. Actually, I got to find
the this is, and a lot of people took this as, oh no, what's going to happen in 2022? That there was an announcement today made that the Epcot Member Lounge is going to remain open for all of 2021. This is sort of a standard announcement, the first of the year. Normally, it has less fanfare than this. Last year, I believe it was in the Disney Files magazine, just a small little blurb where it said they were going to leave it open for another year. So they sort of dangle it on a string every year, and they're like, oh, maybe we'll take it away. They don't. They wouldn't have anything else to do with that space.
Somebody on Facebook, again, I apologize, I don't get the names. Frustration is growing because customer service is really getting bad, both in terms of website functionality and member service access. These aren't perks, and they have been really terrible lately. Preach. You are absolutely right. Those are not perks. Those are not extras. That is what we should expect. Now, I will tell you that I have been in the business of selling Disney travel through Dreams Unlimited since 1999. And one sentence I have never said is, wow, this website works really well. Never once. And again, now we're 20. Why am I having trouble counting? 23 years, right? No, 24. 24 years. 22 with Dreams. 99 Dreams. Yeah, 22 the end of this year with Dreams. And 24 with the Diz.
Math is hard.
Especially for me. Especially for me. I was amazed. I did so well on it on my real estate test.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That had me worried because that math is crazy. But for whatever reason,
That the point about contacting them right now, though, member services especially, and this is again, this is a double-edged sword here. They significantly decreased staffing at Disney Vacation Club, and we have to assume that member services was part of that reduction in staff. And then they turn around and they launch, since nobody can get an AP right now, they launch a crazy ticket special where people can get discounted tickets and free days and all of that kind of stuff. Then on top of that, they add this Alani promo where people can get free days of an Alani trip. All of that tacked onto member services. It has been a nightmare for member services. I know Amy had to call the other day, or tried to call the other day. It was an hour and a half wait. I had a friend trying to call to change his reservation around. One day he waited on the phone for an hour and a half, then got on with someone, was put on hold, then they hung up, and then he had to start over again the next day. And I mean, 2 or 3 minutes into the day, you're up to an hour wait already. So they are extremely understaffed. But the cast members that you speak to at member services are not the people that you need to take that out on. That is not on them.
Amen. I was just going to say that. Do not take it out on the cast members, please. Please don't.
They are just
DVC
doing their
Karens.
job. Yeah. They are doing their job to the best of their ability, and it's not their fault that they're understaffed. They're working as hard as they can for us, and we're extremely grateful for that.
Just taking a look at what else is here. I have an explanation on the soup thing because we started late, and it's cold where all you people are. You're all eating soup and stew, so I guess that was a point of discussion. And it's cold here too. It's 51 degrees.
Oh, get a sweatshirt.
Yep. No, for us, 51 is like, pull the homeless in off the street. Yeah, it's
wow.
Let's see what else we have here. Once travel restrictions are lifted, how difficult do you think it will be to book stays with all the points people have banked? Oh, enjoy this right now, okay? Enjoy the availability we're seeing now. Because but you know what? I will be very, very happy to have that problem. I think we all will. I think we'll all be very happy when availability goes back to, if I don't book 18 years in advance, I'm never gonna get in. Nobody's talking about walking reservations right now, really, because availability is just good. Why are they raising prices at sold-out resorts? They are so out of touch. If they're raising prices, it's because they're getting it. They wouldn't be raising them if they weren't getting it. So I don't think it's out of touch. I think that's business. I think that's what happens.
Yeah, I think they have. I think overall, Disney Vacation Club has lower expectations for this year, maybe next year, and that kind of stuff. And in order for them to hit the marks that they want to hit, they can sell less at a higher price point and do that. And I just think they don't care. And I think we're also seeing pricing strategies ahead of the Disneyland Tower and things like that. They don't want to. You can't, as much as what we've been through in this past year will reinvent everything, you can't lose sight of the long-term vision, the 10-year plan, the 15-year plan, that kind of stuff. So
Jason Hattinger, if we're only entitled to the hotel room, maybe the entire vibe presentation of DVC should change. I mean, club is in the name, nothing feels exclusive. Legally, what we are entitled to, or the usage of our points based on the terms of the contract. Legally, that's all, because I hear people talking about class action lawsuits. Oh, go ahead. But legally, that's what we're entitled to. Now, does that mean they shouldn't offer perks and things like that? Of course they should. Because you have to make this attractive. But we have to stop acting like these perks are entitlements. Because they're not. They are perks by very definition of the word. It is not an entitlement. That's why they call them membership perks. And Disney is very fond of using the term. These could go away at any time. So, you know, that whole discussion was around the reaction to this video. And I don't know what people wanted. What could they possibly have done to celebrate the 30th anniversary? And I thought that was very nice. I'm like, oh, like I said, I didn't know any of the drama. I just happened to hear about it today, and I went and I looked. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. And I got a little weepy. Okay, more than a little weepy. When they broke out, "We Go On." Nah. That's, I want to be alone in the dark with tissues. Every single time I hear that, song, I lose it. The
only thing I'll say about it is I feel like it was too soon. Like that we're still in the sting phase from them taking away Illuminations. So
yeah, it was kind of salt in the wound.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. Let's see. Okay, so the 50% borrowing restriction has been my biggest frustration, aside from the APs, which has nothing to do with DVC. I don't understand the reason why this is in place, but it must have a reason, I'm sure. I just wish they were more transparent on there was more transparency on the plan when it could potentially return to 100%. What do you think the plans might be to return borrowing back to 100%? Again, that question gets answered based on when we have herd immunity and it's safe to travel again and things kind of go back to some form of normal. So what, next year? I don't know. I'm going to tell you what. You don't want my predictions on this. I have been wrong about virtually everything I have predicted in the last year about this pandemic and its effect on Disney. I've been wrong. And I have to be the first one to say that if other people haven't already. So I'm not the guy you want predicting this. Let's see. Oh, and let me ask this question for the cruise line fans. How many of us, the first time we're able to cruise, are going to walk on that ship and bawl our eyes out? I'm going to lose it. When I can walk back on that ship. Cruise to Nowhere, baby. I'm on it. Right there with you. I don't care what. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to do anything. They can just literally go 2 miles offshore and go into, or 7 miles offshore into international waters and just anchor. Okay. I'm good. See, what I don't think, somebody's talking about this is going to be the new normal. No, I don't think so. I think there will be some things that will change on the other side of this. But I don't think what we're living in is the new normal at all. Let's see.
I feel like there's still more
Again,
soup
coming from fate. God bless you, people in the soup. Again, from Facebook. I don't know the name. I feel like we are forgotten about at times. There it is. Hold on. Add to broadcast. I feel like we are forgotten about at times. Do you know how simple it would be for them to fix that? They don't have to do anything but take some, like one of those production people that put the video today together, set up in Terry's office. If I can do that from my office, she can do it from hers. And have a conversation with the audience. Have a conversation with the membership.
And that's the thing, we brought up the legal aspect earlier, and she doesn't have to promise us anything in that conversation. She just has to listen and let us know that we've been heard to that degree. And I think that's where many, many frustrations are coming from right now.
Let's see. All right, I'm coming down to the end here.
And one thing I will say to the people that are frustrated, or the people that have had issues that have significantly impacted their use of their membership, please go on to the Disney Vacation Club website. They announced it this year as part of the condo association meeting, just to emphasize that it was there. But there's a place on the membership section of the website where you can go in and sort of write a little blurb and send it off to them. So it is there to be a sounding board for members. And unfortunately, they'll never tell us any negative stuff there. They claim that there's all positive, there's all fuzzy and magical and all of this kind of stuff coming through there about how people are just so happy about everything. But if you have frustrations, that's the place where you need to voice them. You need to send them through those channels. They hear us here a little bit. They read some of what we say. I'm sure there's some lurker hiding in the DVC fan group somewhere that is reporting back.
They pay attention to all of it. They pay attention to all of it. Believe me.
Yeah.
They pay attention to all of it. I apologize. I'm just gonna go off on a completely unrelated thing here. And again, I'm frustrated that I can't see the name, because whoever put this in, total other subject, I wish Disney would partner with Burberry. You are my new favorite person. You are my new favorite person. That's brilliant. Oh my God.
Burberry, if you're listening, we've plugged you about 20 times on the DVC fan the past month, so we're definitely looking for.
I know, because that was not planned. That was not planned. When Nick and I did that, we were both wearing Burberry shirts.
I had Dolly to go Google Burberry.
I know you did, honey. I know. God bless.
I think I have a scarf. I might have a scarf in the closet.
Oh, I've got 3. And I got a ton of Burberry I can't fit into, which pisses me off. Eventually, I'll lose the weight. Let's see.
We also got this week, just for the men in the audience looking for a significant other gift. We've got some jewelry that dropped on Shop Disney. I forget the name. Someone will put it in the chat for me. It's a specific designer that made the jewelry, but it's DVC branded. We've got new 30th anniversary DVC shirts that popped into the Shop Disney website. So they're definitely,
Wait, go back to jewelry. What was the jewelry?
yeah, I'm gonna completely forget. Someone's gonna have to help me out in the chat. I forget. There was a necklace, there were earrings.
Rebecca Hook?
Yes, I believe that sounds correct.
I don't know that. I don't know that
I
designer.
yeah,
DVC should add a Burberry store on the Wish. Yes, they should. Okay. This is too long for me to put up on the screen. But again, coming from Facebook, so I apologize. I don't know who you are. As a way of buying trust with the membership at the end of all this, do you see the possibility of them cutting Terry loose and saying that we realize that this was a target of your frustration, although we couldn't shake up during the pandemic, we are making changes to reinstill your trust in us? No, I don't wish that. I don't hope for that. I know I've said that she should be replaced. I would much rather see her learn the politics of her job, not with her bosses, with her membership. It's a political job. And I'd love to see her learn the politics of it, because that's what that job requires. That job requires a politician, because you're dealing with this. You're dealing with the membership, right? And it's not an easy job. I'm not suggesting. I can armchair quarterback all I want from here. I can't even begin to appreciate the pressure that woman's under. So, in all honesty, I would love to see her step up. And transparency, that's the word I keep seeing coming up in this chat. Transparency. We just want more transparency. Talk to us about what's going on. Talk to us, not at us. This is something Disney executives suck at doing. They're very good at talking at you in Disney speak. They suck at talking to you like a human being. And the best executives, Josh D'Amaro, while I'm upset with him right now for some of these things that are going away, one thing Josh is very good at, talking to you as a person, yet still maintaining that Disney thing, the Disney BS. But he talks to you as a person. And you know what? It's not an easy thing to do. It's not. It's not an easy thing to do. But I'm more than happy to go over there and give her some lessons if she needs them in authenticity.
Yeah, we could sit here in a parallel universe, and having been communicated to properly, we'd all be happy. I don't know about happy. Maybe that's stretching it, but we would feel a lot better about everything going on, because at least we understood.
She would convert fans into an army of supporters. That's what would happen if she came out and said, listen, I hear you, but there are business reasons why we can't do that. Maybe, and I can't go into them. Okay. You know what? At least that's a human response, as opposed to, here at Disney, we value you. We value you as a guest. We hope you come back. Have a magical day. Okay? Because that's what we get. Okay? We get some Stepford response from these people. Like they've just gotten shot up with Thorazine, or just had a lobotomy. And that, the minute Crazy Eyes and the smile, that we've got to stop. Okay? That's got to stop. Because that's Disney's response to everything. Crazy Eyes and a dead smile. I'm cracking myself up. Crazy Eyes and a dead smile. crazy eyes and a dead smile.
You and I were talking
That-
about YouTube Shorts the other day. That is the best YouTube short I would have ever seen. You as Terry Schultz.
Let's see.
Trying to go through my notes here, just make sure there wasn't anything else that I'm left out from some of the announcements today. But I think we covered most of the.
All right. Well, Brianna Cooper said it before I did. I mean, some people just can't be pleased, no matter what. We just want to be spoken to like humans who are also invested. You said it better than I did, although I think I was a little funnier. But there it is. There it is.
And you want us to have. There's been a lot of talk about in the group and elsewhere over on the boards and stuff about, using your Disney Vacation Club now as a timeshare. And there's a lot of people choosing to go to other parks and go to other places in Orlando or visit and use their points in different ways. Go to the beach at Vero or Hilton Head, things like that, rather than going to Walt Disney World. And a big part of the whole marketing plan and the success of Disney Vacation Club is the fact that you come to Walt Disney World year after year and you spend your money at Walt Disney World year after year. And the communication, if better right now, would have us flocking there in droves when everything clears up. But people are questioning that now. And they need to get us back to wanting to return and wanting to come spend our money there, because that's what it's all about. It's what the investors want. It's what they want.
Okay, another comment on Facebook I want to bring up. Part of the problem with the video today, communication, perception, and the self-aggrandizement, they literally gave themselves a pat on the back at the beginning of the video for the way they've handled their response to COVID. That is all the proof we need to show just how out of touch they are with the membership. I didn't hear them pat themselves on the back for that. What I heard them say was nobody had a playbook for this. And I believe that was the word they used, which I know they're watching the show, because I must have said that very line, there's no playbook for this, about 8,000 times last year. What they were doing was they were giving themselves a pass. And yes, they're absolutely right. There was no playbook for this. We were all blindsided. But after a year of your membership screaming for information and transparency, there is a playbook for that. It's called listening and responding and reacting. And yes, she had a wonderful opportunity in that video today to come in and say something. But better, I think, she takes one of those production people, brings them into her office, turns on the camera, and talks to the membership. She does that. She does it successfully. She does it often enough. She has a job for life, or at least a wonderful path to promotion.
There was something that Disney Vacation Club did when they first came out, which was a member of the DVC board is what they refer to as a member representative. So on the board of directors for DVC, DVD, there's one member that represents the members. The problem is that I believe we had some people reach out this past year to identify who that was. It's basically an employee that works for DVC that does that. But they missed a key opportunity of having someone in a role on the board. I mean, they could outvote them every day of the week, so it doesn't matter who that person is. But having someone on the board that is listening, that is that is in touch with the community, that is in touch with their members, and that can be bringing that back to the board just so that they acknowledge it and just so that they hear it. And I think that shifting that somehow would be highly beneficial to them in learning everything that members feel about their product. And it would just give them some good credit. That was it. That was a tangent. Sorry.
I love Netflix. And if you haven't watched Turn Washington's Spies, it's on Netflix. It was an AMC series, 4 seasons. All about the Revolutionary War. I mean, they take some liberties with facts and history, but it was really well done. But I was just thinking, as we're talking about listening and not listening, the American Revolution was a really good example of what happens when people don't listen. And in a way, I'm not suggesting revolution here. Just don't want to. It's 2021. Got to make that clear. But at some point in time, if they don't listen voluntarily, the membership will figure out a way to make them listen. I don't know what that is, but you see the amount of frustration. And you have to... Simcoe was diabolical. But not in real life. He wasn't that bad in real life, it turns out. But yeah, I agree. That it was really well acted. But... I'm sorry. I got distracted. I'm trying to watch the chat room here. Pete charged with 1 count of insurrection of Cinderella's castle. Nah, I'm not going to go there. I'm just not going to go there. I'd follow you to battle for DVC. No, we're not doing any of that. We're not doing any of that. If DVC continues on the current track, do you think it will affect member growth in the future of the business? Any company that ignores what's being said about them on social media is doomed. We are not the only DVC members on the internet talking like this. We are not the only DVC members on the internet frustrated. It's everywhere, in every group, on every discussion board. We are not the only ones. I'm literally handing her a playbook of what to do. Literally handing her, do exactly these things. And you will watch the tone of this change like that. You want to see these members love the product. They love the product. And you know what? We're not that thing I said to Paul in text that I won't say on the show. Bag of... we're not that. Give us a reason to rally behind you. Give us a reason to support you. Be transparent with what's going on. We're adults. We get that stuff is going on in the world right now. We get it. We understand that. Include us in the conversation to some degree. You don't have to open up your books. You don't have to show us all the details and the dirty details. I mean, just talk to us. Talk to us like people. I'm telling you. Do that. If the conversation doesn't shift, if you do that and you do it authentically, and you talk to the membership like you give like you give a crap about them, at least I can catch myself now. If you do that and it doesn't change, then shame on us. But the questions that are being asked, the concerns that are being raised, deserve to be answered. It deserves to be answered. These people have spent a lot of money. They are emotionally invested in your product. But I'm going to tell you something, folks. I've said this on shows before. Not all of them, but believe me, more than a few Disney executives, when Disney fans are mentioned, roll their eyes. That is a pervasive attitude among them. Not all of them, but more than a few. And here, this group, DVC members, we're Uber fans. We're not casual fans of the product. We're so into it, we're willing to plunk down tens of thousands of dollars and say, yeah, we'll travel here for the next 40 years. I mean, literally. We'll travel here for the next 40 or 50 years. And I don't know. I don't think the DVC folks look at the membership that way. I really don't. But it would be helpful if I knew that they don't look at us that way. It would be helpful if they opened up a line of communication with the membership. And it can be, you know what, it can be a one-way discussion. I realize you're not going to do a town hall. It certainly can't be that pathetic excuse of a dialogue you claim to have at the membership meetings, because that's a joke. Here are all the things you can't talk about. Proceed. But so it can be a one-way, it can be a semi-one-way dialogue. You can just record something, put it out. It's a great place to start. But please do that before you produce another music video. Now, somebody, I forgot who it was. I thought I wrote the name down. Somebody in the group put a link to a Scientology music video and said that the video today kind of gave her that vibe. I'm not kidding. I watched that video. I sat here and pissed myself for about 15 minutes. I was laughing so hard. It was hysterical. It was hysterical. If you can go into that thread and find it. It was under my announcement that we were doing this tonight. It was so funny. It was so funny. But I hope they're listening. I hope somebody's watching this that works with DVC that can, smuggle a message in code and invisible ink to Terry. That's from Washington Spies. I didn't realize they were using invisible ink in the 1700s. But they did. They used invisible ink. I thought that was kind of cool. Smuggle a message to her. Just watch that part of this video with some suggestions on some things that you could do. And I'll tell you what, if you do those things and the audience doesn't react, I will yell at them for you. You're not going to have to do it. I will yell at them. Do what my mother does with the finger. Oh my God, it changed focus when I did that.
You didn't like being
power. I summoned the power of my mother's finger. Can't do it again. But all right. Anything else, Paul? Anything you want to talk about?
No, I think we've touched on everything pretty well, and I sort of like your last message. There was one comment that came through here a minute or two ago. Mouse
Well,
and
somebody
Mermaid said
just
we've
said
already
somebody said they missed the first half. When will it be viewable? Right. Yeah. I mean, it's going to
momentarily.
be. Yeah, it'll be permanent. It's going to be on the Facebook group. It'll also be on the YouTube channel as well. So, look ahead, Paul. I'm sorry.
No, someone said Mouse and Mermaid said we've already paid, so why would they care? And I think that a prior comment is a perfect example of why. H. Eldridge said members are their best salespeople until they're not. And that is so true on so many levels. And I think we've seen that reflected in Riviera. I've gone on the record multiple times and saying it's not that Riviera is not selling well. Riviera is not selling well with add-on purchases. Now, I don't have any data to prove that, but I think that's true. And I think it's because maybe they didn't listen to members and what they wanted. They built what they thought we wanted instead of building what members wanted. And I mean, add-on-itis is still crazier than ever. I mean, resale sales are through the roof. People are adding contracts left and right. People once they can travel, people are going to travel, and people want to go to Disney. But the idea of adding on direct, I don't know that that's going to be what most people gear towards if this continues to be how it's treated. But overall, as we've said all night, this video was amazing in how it was presented. The music was wonderful. It was a good message. It
The
was just
cast
sort of
members, the cast members in that video, the cast members that put it together, did a phenomenal, phenomenal job, and we should applaud them and
yep.
and share that information. That our frustration has nothing to do with the video. Nothing. That's what I wanted this discussion to be about. And I do want to address this. Mark Gill says Terry doesn't give a rat's patootie about the membership, basically. I disagree with that. I don't think that's true. I think this is somebody who is a longtime Disney executive that is trained in that culture. And that culture has never been particularly good at listening to the fans. I think they're relying so much on the fans right now that they're being forced to listen. I'm not taking credit for this. But I had made the suggestion months ago that they are insane not doing something socially distanced with Festival of the Lion King. Lo and behold. Right now, because they've been visited by 3 ghosts in the middle of the night, and I've seen this with Disney before. They get visited by the 3 ghosts in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden, like, well, please tell us what you think. And that's where we are right now. So I think this is a good opportunity. But I do believe that Terry Schultz does care about the membership. I don't believe that she is indifferent to that at all. In my heart, I don't believe that's true. I think she's just focused on the wrong things. And I think she works in a culture where transparency and direct communication are simply not part of what they do. But as we all know, this is a new day. This is a new day. We are in a new world. And this moment and this situation in this time and place requires that transparency and communication from Disney Vacation Club to its members. Because in some cases, you are turning raving fans into raving lunatics. And that's not a good look. Because social media and YouTube Now our message gets a lot further than it did 10 years ago, 15 or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago when you started. Disney has learned that the hard way many times. I don't know that DVC has learned it yet. We don't expect you to fix COVID. We don't expect you to solve all the ills of the world right now. Talk to us. Tell us you hear us, that you hear what people are saying. Even if the answer is, right now I don't have an answer. Right now I can't say what's going to happen. We don't know yet. We're working on it. But we've heard you and we care and we're paying attention to it. My God, that would go so far. And if it doesn't, screw anybody that's not happy with it. But that's just how I feel. I'm a blushing flower, though. I don't really express myself well. So, all right, folks. It's 9 o'clock on the East Coast. We started late, but I let it run. Let it run for a while. So this was great. It's always fun to do these. Thank you, Paul. Please send my best to Amy. You don't have to send my best to Amy. I can just look at the camera and say, hi, Amy.
Yeah. Hi, Amy. She's too
thank you, guys. Yeah. Thank you, guys. And until next time, stay safe and stay warm.